Even though ticker symbol NVOS feeling a bit overextended, it may actually still have some upside to go. Let's go over those potentials now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an NVOS technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we're looking at NVOS on the buy daily chart here. And if you don't remember what we were talking about last, we are breaking out of a broadening descending wedge of which has a topside target per the trading book rules. Okay, so that doesn't mean that we're going to go up to it. It only means that this is typically how this formation is traded. Okay, and that target would be in line almost directly with the 2.618 at 35 cents. Let's see, 35.35, right? So it's actually suggesting 35.05 based on the candle top over here. Let's see, high is actually 35 cents directly. Okay, so it's very nice that it's actually lining up with a geometric level, right? So now let's look at the current price action right now, because we are about to get a pretty nice closure. Okay, so this effect, the effect of the closure of this buy daily iteration is going to be seen on Wednesday, right? So tomorrow it'll close, and then on Wednesday we'll see the effects of the closing of it, right? So the current positioning of this is in a very bullish stance. And why can I say that? Okay, well, I need you to notice this section here, okay? This zone between the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio and the 0.382 is called the golden pocket. Okay, and this candle is very convincing. This is absolutely a bullish candle, and it's still suggesting a continuation to the upside. Now, usually when we are on the golden pocket with an upside pivot, that usually suggests a continuation to the upside even still, right? So if we were to pull back, then the top side of this tweezer top here could be that target before a pullback. And how could that happen? Well, we would essentially make a continuation to the upside in this fashion here, right? Face that resistance right at the 1 fib, right? Where we drew our fib from the top side of this area. We would face that top side at that 1 fib, retrace from the resistance level, come back, and we would essentially validate the newly converted resistance into support of the 0.618 Fibonacci golden mean, right? So in this case, we would use that as the bound zone and then continue onwards and upwards, right? So that's typically how things tend to work out. Right, it doesn't always have to play that way. It's just looking at relevant areas of support, then that could be it. Also, remember that we are on a buy daily time frame here, so this can actually take a few days to reach that zone, right? Let's see how big of an upside that would be from the current position. So, I mean, yeah, that's a 22% move to the upside from the current position. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it's quite the distance away, right? So, upon that upside, we could actually come back down, validate that 0.618 golden mean, and then continue on to the upside, which would be honestly, it looks like it would be the path for this, right? Another thing to kind of notice here is, you know what, I hate calling out patterns, but usually I get I get more views when I call out patterns, right? But I do see a potential cup and handle here, right? So it's a silly formation. I really don't enjoy, these formations because they don't have that big of a hit rate, right? So in this case, we can actually see that we're making a definite cup and handle formation, right? So this area here, right? So if we were to take into consideration, let's see, a price objective, then we could take it from the top of the cup, a trend line from the top of the cup all the way to the bottom side of the cup, and then apply it to the handle top, right? So if we were to suggest a continuation to the upside from that point, it would be around here, right? So that would be indicative of a move up to 31.75, which is confluent with the 1.272, right? So in that case, since we are facing a psychological upside target there, we can actually take the psychological resistance versus the geometric resistance, right? Just like this. And we can now see an area of a potential resistance zone, right? So that's if we were to face that resistance zone, it would be highly likely, right? First of all, because it is this top side of this massive candle right over here at 33 cents, and also a good area to retrace back and then face the 1.618 golden mean at 26.49 before a continuation to the upside, thus meeting the top side and realization of the broadening descending wedge, right? So this is very speculative. I have not back tested what I just talked about, but I am, however, expressing to you how price action tends to behave when it is on an upside trajectory, right? So now we would need to kind of validate what we're talking about, right? So first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at the volatility versus momentum profile on the shorter time frames, right? So let's look at the 30-minute to see if we have a pullback for any type of potential long entry, right? So, and actually we do, right? So let's see. A little bit more of an upside on the 30-minute resistance. We have downside pivots on the momentum and decreasing volatility. So MACD facing to the downside, crossing that MACD line. So yeah, there is a downside to be faced here, right? So I'm not exactly sure as to how far we can go down, but there are some areas to kind of keep in mind, right? So if I were to kind of put a quick guess on this, then I would give you a range, actually. Okay, so that range on the 30-minute time frame would consist of the wick low of this candle here, right, and the gap closure of the 30-minute time frame right on this candle here. Okay, so just let's see, actually to the downside. There we go. This gap here. Okay, so that could be an area for reaccumulation, right? Which is already kind of near the area of resistance we had before from the play that we put together when we were starting to make this upside here, right? Which, by the way, it absolutely met all of our targets, right? So let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here, right? So since we do have that downside on the immediate short-term time frame, we want to see how far or how long that downside can last, right? So it looks like the hourly time frame also has decreasing volatility. We also have stochastics pivoted towards the upside, potential support being found at the MACD, and also we could be facing a little bit of resistance here from the RSI 14-day simple, but please notice how it's pivoted to the upside, both the RSI signal and the 14-day simple moving average. So that could be a pretty good opportunity, suggesting that this thing would go and continue on to the upside. Please notice on the hourly time frame, we absolutely have DMI support. We have the ADX, which represents trending market, at 43%. Anytime that this ADX is sitting at 25 or ideally 30% and up, that would be a strong trending market for whoever is leading. In this case, DMI is suggesting bulls are leading with an upside continuation, and the ADX is absolutely supporting that. Okay, so that means that volatility versus momentum overall looks bullish. Short-term time frame pullback before a continuation to the upside, right? So let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour time frame. And now on the 4-hour time frame, please notice that the pivots on the stochastic momentum, they're not facing downward, right? So in fact, they're kind of sideways, and we still have increasing volatility too, right? So meaning that more shares are being traded as we make our trajectory to the upside. MACD facing straight to the moon right here, and also the RSI right in that gravitational zone. We have a trending market, actually about 20%, so that's not too bad, right? DMI is actually supporting the bulls still. Let's move on let's move on up the time frames. Okay, so even less of a downside pivot here on the 6-hour. We have now we have seriously convincing upside pivots on the MACD and the RSI, right? And absolutely increasing volatility here, which only means that the 8-hour time frame could be pivoted straight to the upside. So let's go ahead and look at the 8-hour. There you go. So the 8-hour leading indicator, EMA3, the three period exponential moving average, is suggesting a continuation to the upside, and it's within the bullish control zone. Okay, so this is probably where all of the shorter time frames have been cascading into, right? So now the 8-hour time frame has caught that upside, and the waves could continue from here. Please notice that we have a fresh cross of the MACD on the 8-hour time frame with an absolute push to the upside. Please take a look at stochastic momentum versus money flow index, and we absolutely have incoming cash. This is the disbursement of returns inbound, right? So we're looking at inbound cash, and please notice here, ADX sitting at 21%, and the bulls just crossing the bears here. So this is looking pretty good. Another thing that's indicative of volume continuing and increasing. Please notice that we have crossed the moving average. The volatility component is this spectrum line, right? So it has crossed the moving average and suggesting a continuation to the upside. The moving average will likely pivot towards the upside very soon, right? So this is absolutely suggesting a continuation to that upside. 12-hour time frame, absolutely bullish. Definitely getting that cross to the upside, and brand new cross on the MACD. Upside pivot on that RSI, and even the money flow index is suggesting a continuation to the upside. Okay, you guys, so this is why I'm saying that there could still be some upside to look at for ticker symbol NVOS, and I still would have to favor that top side of 21 cents. And then a pullback, right? So, I mean, it's fine, right? So we can get a pretty nice, if it does reach that high. Actually, I can give you more of a tighter range, right? So it would be something along the lines of this here. So 21 cents to about the opening of this candle here, right? So that would be around the area to look at for a resistance zone, right? So we'll pull back from this area down to the 0618, continuation onto the upside, onwards and upwards, right, you guys? So yeah, please remember that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever, you guys. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool, okay, you guys? But please know that you can reach out to me, ask me any questions you like. I'll try my best to reply. I know I have a lot of messages coming in all the time, the private messages, right? But I will try my very best for you, okay? I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.